Hello, hello. This is another cool rock podcast, and hopefully befitting of the podcast name, a cool episode. This is only our second episode, actually, and the goal is for most episodes to have a featured interview with someone who loves to make, play, promote, and talk about rock music. And in fact, I'm recording 2 interviews this week, with more to be scheduled soon. But as per the title of our first episode, you got to start somewhere, and that's with news from the world of rock. But before we get to that, I just want to chat about the awesome Rockin' Pod convention I went to in Nashville, Tennessee last week. Rockin' Pod is a rock and roll podcasters convention, and it's awesome. It was started 5 years ago or so by Chris Czynszak of the always great Decibel Geek podcast. Say that 5 times fast. And what a great idea it is. It's a full day of rock podcasters doing what they do, podcasting, of course, but it's also about community, and there's a great one in the world of rock and metal podcasts. I met a slew of very cool podcasters, the hosts of I'm in Love with That Song, Growing Up Rock, In Obscuria, Play That Rock and Roll Podcast, Rock and Roll Happy Hour, and many others. There were a ton of great guests. Those included the legendary bassist Billy Sheehan, the very cool Tuk Smith, Tom Zutwad, who was the A&R guy who found and signed Guns N' Roses to Geffen Records way back in the day, nearly 30 years ago, believe it or not, and a bunch of comedians, which I'll get to in a moment. There were some great panels. My favorite panel was the one with Mark White. He's the co-host of the Rock and Roll Happy Hour podcast, but he's also a filmmaker, and he made possibly one of my favorite rock documentaries about one of my all-time favorite bands, and that's On With The Show, which is about legendary San Francisco rockers Y&T. On Saturday night, we saw an absolutely killer rock show at Eastside Bowl in Nashville with Tuk Smith and the Restless Hearts headlining. They are absolutely amazing live. Unfiltered, very cool power pop. How can I best explain their music a bit more than that? How about this? Mix the rock of AC/DC, the harmony guitars and attitude of Thin Lizzy with the melodicism and hooks of Cheap Trick, and you've got Tuk Smith and the Restless Hearts. Yes, I stole that from their official bio, but it makes sense to me. That is a very good description of their sound. Their most recent album, Road to Redemption, will immediately go into your heavy rotation if you like that kind of music. I was completely blown away. Tuck has got so much charisma. They are so much fun live. It was just great song after great song. His band is so tight. His lead guitar player is terrific. I referenced Thin Lizzy there, and yeah, that bio is correct. There's a lot of cool twin harmony guitar leads. Their drummer is an absolute beast. He is just a motor. He hits so hard and really drives the band. It's only April, but I will confidently say that Tuck's show will go down as one of my favorite concerts of all of 2025. And one of the opening acts was absolutely killer as well, and that was Nashville singer, songwriter, guitarist Leilani Kilgore. She absolutely smoked. She's a lead guitarist as well. She went to school at the Berklee School of Music, but got really schooled by the blues and hard rock, of which is the base for all her tunes. She's got this great smoky voice, plays lead guitar, as I mentioned, and has got swagger and charisma for miles. She's definitely one to watch out for, definitely want to check out. She just seems super cool, a lot of fun on stage. Like I said, can play. She got up on stage with a couple other female singers during Tuck's set, and they did a great version of Stevie Nicks' Stop Dragging My Heart Around. And I don't remember the name of the lead singer for that song, but Leilani played all the leads, the lead guitar in that song for that version. So that was a cool little mid-set interlude during Tuck's set. Just absolutely killer. It was a great rock show. Just walked out of there feeling so damn good, like you do when you see an absolutely killer concert. And finally, I mentioned comedians, and there were several at the convention. Courtney Cronin, Craig Gass, Don Jameison, and one of my all-time faves, Hal Sparks. They spent the convention day doing multiple podcasts, and Sunday night they did a show at John Bon Jovi's club, no less, JBJ's in downtown Nashville. They do a show called Punchlines and Backlines. It's a rock and roll comedy show, and if you're a hard rock fan, you know each of those comedians and their connection to all things hard rock. But this show does something really cool and different. Each Punchlines and Backlines show includes a rocker doing stand-up. And Sunday night, that rocker was Five Finger Death Punch bassist Chris Cale. A really cool concept. And it takes a lot of courage to go up on any stage, particularly to do stand-up. And Chris was pretty funny. He told some great jokes, told some really wild stories. And it was a perfect cap to a fantastic 3-day weekend. So just terrific. If you get a chance and you want a few laughs pretty quickly, check out Courtney Cronin, Craig Gass, Don Jameison, or Hal Sparks on YouTube. Craig Gass does absolutely some incredible impersonations. Everyone from Morgan Freeman to Al Pacino to Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons. Don Jameison recently put out a new record. Hal Sparks does some hilarious physical comedy. I love them all. I had so much fun Sunday night. And I'm hoping to see Punchlines and Backlines again. I'm now following them on their Facebook page, and hopefully this concept will come to my city and your city as well soon. And now let's get to some rock news. All right, there were a couple really big tour announcements this week, at least big in the fact that I'm super excited about them. First off, The Darkness from the UK, whose killer new album Dreams on Toast was just released. They'll be hitting the US this fall. It has been a long time since they came across the pond, so to speak. And their tour starts August 29th in Pryor, Oklahoma, with 29 dates total in September and in November, hitting cities big and small, including Minneapolis on September 19th. I will definitely be there. And ending in Denver on November 22nd. You might remember them from the early aughts, or maybe you never forgot them. They had a really big hit, 2005, 2008, somewhere around there, I think. I Believe in a Thing Called Love. Just bombastic, hilarious, fun, but killer rock and roll. Justin Hawkins, he was on the Eddie Van Halen tribute concert, which Wolfgang Van Halen played at, was that last year already? 2 years ago, I think. He sang Panama, and I think it was Hot for Teacher. Justin's great. He's a terrific follow at Instagram as well. And like I mentioned, their new album, Dreams on Toast, just came out a couple weeks ago. Some folks are calling it a return to form. I'm not sure they ever really went away music-wise. I think their albums previous to this were killer as well, but this one is certainly getting a lot of notice, and a lot of critics are really digging it. So definitely it is super cool that The Darkness are both returning on record and on stage to the U.S. Also just announced is a big tour, Alice Cooper and Judas Priest teaming up for a fall tour that starts on September 16th in Biloxi, Mississippi, and ends October 26th in Houston. Also on that bill is Corrosion of Conformity. Talk about an awesome triple feature, triple bill there. I did not know Corrosion of Conformity was still around. Actually, maybe they never broke up. I got to do a little bit of research and dig into that, because it's been years since I heard anything new from them or heard of them added to a big tour, doing any big touring. So that's going to be one to check out for sure. And in other news, drummer Zach Starkey has been sacked, dismissed, fired from The Who, where he manned the kit for the last 29 years. This hit the newswires everywhere today, and apparently it was not an amicable split. Even People.com ran a story. The news was made official this week, with a lot of reports indicating that a dispute between Starkey and lead singer Roger Daltrey came out of The Who's recent performance at Royal Albert Hall in London, and that's what had to do with the move. A spokesperson for the band in a statement said to media, the band made a collective decision to part ways with Zach after this round of shows at the Royal Albert Hall. They have nothing but admiration for him and wish him the very best for his future. And the UK tabloid The Mirror got into it a bit more with some details, saying sources claim the decision has upset Zach. An insider said it's a little acrimonious, to say the least. Sources claim there were question marks over Zach's drumming at the March shows, which were in honor of Daltrey's Teenage Cancer Trust charity. The whole thing wasn't that smooth, I don't think, as far as the announcement. A few days before, Zach basically announced it on his own at his Instagram page, The Real Zach Starkey, where he put a post up there with a picture of himself with Roger Daltrey under the banner that said, "The Daily Who breaking news," and all in caps, he said, "Heard today from inside source within whose horse's nose that Toger Dactry, lead singer and principal songwriter of the group, unhappy with Zach, the drummer's performance at the Albert Hall a few weeks ago, is bringing formal charges of overplaying and is literally going to Zach, the drummer, and bring on a reserve from the Burwash Car Wash Skiffle in Tickle Glee Club Harmony Without Empathy All-Stars." This has been confirmed by Who's, WHOSE, longtime manager, Will You Won't You Know. Yeah, all in caps. Very odd. And Zach has been the full-time drummer for The Who since the 1996 Quadrophenia tour. I saw that tour, and I've watched numerous videos of Zach with The Who and thought he was finally the drummer that kind of melded Keith Moon, the power of Keith Moon, and sometimes the sheer exuberance, almost over-exuberance, but with enough discipline like a Kenny Jones and others to keep the whole thing in line and in charge. And he was with them for 29 years, which is pretty amazing. So what's he doing next? Well, there's rumors that he is going to be the drummer on the Oasis reunion tour, which hits massive stadiums starting this summer. And he is going to have some music coming out before that, coming in May, with Noel Gallagher of Oasis. He mentions in a statement that, "I plan to take some much-needed time off my family and focus on the release of Domino Bones by Mantra of the Cosmos with Noel Gallagher in May, and finishing my autobiography written solely by me. 29 years at any job is a good old run, and I wish them the best." Indeed, I will be checking out that autobiography whenever it's released, and I'm sure there's some amazing stories in there given who his dad is and who his uncle, who he called his uncle, Uncle Keith Moon, the original drummer for The Who. And that's it for this episode of Another Cool Rock Podcast. Thank you for checking us out. Thank you for giving us a chance. We'll have another episode real soon. And as always, be good to yourself and be good to other people. Take care.